This is Nightline.
Tonight, 4 Pepperdine University sorority sisters killed on a scenic highway in Malibu known as Dead Man's Curve.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen in 7 years of working in Malibu.
The man charged with their murders in court today, accused of driving his BMW over 100 miles an hour when they were mowed down.
It's heartbreaking. It's hard knowing that my friend's life stopped in that moment at the hands of him.
Now repped by a high-powered lawyer.
He did not intentionally or with any kind of an implied malice take any lives.
Will the murder charges against him stand? Plus,
thank you for being a friend.
40 golden years. The inside story of the Golden Girls, the groundbreaking, comforting show where no topic was off limits.
Being near Charlie was nice, but it was 5 years before I knew what made your eyes go back in your head.
And famous faces like a very young George Clooney made cameos.
Bobby, does your mama know you carry that gun?
Blanche, I'm a grown man.
God, they were funny. They were all funny.
Why the Golden Girls are hotter and more relevant than ever.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, a young man in court after allegedly striking and killing 4 college sorority sisters, driving at more than 100 miles an hour. His high-powered lawyer says the murder charges against him are excessive. The victim's heartbroken friends say the driver is facing exactly what he deserves. A crush of cameras today outside this California courthouse.
How you feeling?
All eyes on the 24-year-old accused of a tragedy that claimed the lives of 4 young Pepperdine University students. Frazier Michael Bowen, charged with their murders, flanked by his family and his high-powered attorney.
Are you hoping to get the murder charge dropped to felony manslaughter?
That's why we're here today.
This motion before the court is the latest in the case that has continued to torment the victims' families and friends.
I still feel pain, but that kind of pain is something that you can't even imagine, something that you can't even put into words.
The Pacific Coast Highway, or PCH, runs along the ocean in Malibu, California, home to surfers, celebrities, and multi-million-dollar homes. The Pacific Coast Highway, and what some call Dead Man's Curve in particular, has long been decried as dangerous. Since 2014, at least 61 people have died on the 21-mile stretch of the highway that runs through Malibu, which includes Dead Man's Curve. In 2024, the mayor of Malibu announcing a task force to combat the issue.
We need to really talk about Malibu and PCH.
Since the accident, I had a person driving 112, the car was impounded, person driving 109, 18 years old, unlicensed driver, another person driving 107.
In 2015, Caitlyn Jenner was involved in an accident that resulted in 1 fatality. Jenner was not charged. This notorious stretch of road chronicled in the documentary 21 Miles in Malibu.
This road was never meant to handle that many people.
This is going to end badly.
The film, produced by Michelle Shane, whose daughter Emily was struck and killed on the PCH when she was 13 years old.
She was a really good kid. She was a sweet, kind person who didn't have a mean bone in her body.
I remember when I first moved out here and I was a freshman at Pepperdine, the one thing they sort of tell you is, be careful of PCH. Don't speed, don't run across it, even be careful using pedestrian walks, don't go on the sidewalk. They're very cautious of it.
Seniors Asha Weir, Deslin Williams, Neve Rolston, and Peyton Stewart were killed instantly when a BMW plowed into them along the stretch of the infamous highway at 8:30 p.m. on October 17, 2023.
As soon as it happened, I knew exactly what it was. Car accident.
The damage was incredible. The debris pattern was all over the streets. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in 7 years of working in Malibu and responding to accidents on PCH.
Bridget Thompson lost 4 of her sorority sisters, best friends and roommates that night.
It's heartbreaking. It's hard knowing that my friend's life stopped in that moment at the hands of him.
Prosecutors say the car, driven by then 22-year-old Frazier Bowen, was speeding at more than 100 miles per hour on Dead Man's Curve. The The speed limit was 45. This home security footage shows the car flying by seconds before the crash.
It was avoidable. Speed was the issue.
Now he's been charged with 4 counts of murder and 4 counts of vehicular manslaughter. He's pleaded not guilty and was released on a $4 million bail.
It's disappointing to know that he's walking free and they got their lives stolen from them, and their families have empty chairs at their tables, and their families have to live with this every single day.
The victims' families are also suing in civil court.
I do believe that he's being charged in the proper way. I trust the prosecution in that, and I do believe that there's consequences for your actions, and this can set a precedent for the future.
What he was doing was dangerous, and he is coming up with excuses as to why the collision occurred.
Prosecutors arguing that Boehm's extreme indifference to human life warrants the charges.
He's been charged with 4 counts of what are known as implied malice murder. It is often applied to traffic accidents, most commonly DUI cases, but you also have speed contest cases with these, 2 fast and furious young guys with fins on their cars will engage in racing. What's interesting about this case is there's no allegation that Mr. Boehm was under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Speed cannot be treated as malice.
Boehm is being represented by renowned LA defense attorney Alan Jackson.
Frazier Boehm has never been and will never ever be a murderer. He did not intentionally or with any kind of an implied malice take any lives. This was a tragedy. It's a tragic accident.
Jackson is no stranger to high-profile cases, representing disgraced Hollywood titan Harvey Weinstein and successfully defending Karen Reed after she was charged with murdering her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. The case becoming a media frenzy in the Boston area.
It was corrupted by a lead investigator whose misconduct infected every single part of this case.
In his latest case, Jackson says Boehm was trying to get away from another driver that he viewed as a threat.
He was being harassed on the road. All the evidence points to it, and we intend to show that to the jury, too.
Jackson also arguing in court to have the murder charges dismissed.
The law demands that the murder counts be dismissed so that this case can proceed on the proper charges. The charges the evidence actually supports.
On one hand, the jury is going to see this young man who made a horrific mistake and is on trial for his life. On the other hand, this is a very well-considered, well-thought-out prosecution that I believe is properly charged the way they did it.
Boehm had no passengers with him, and neither drugs nor alcohol was a factor, according to authorities and his attorneys. For Bridget Thompson, that October evening 2 years ago started out like a typical college night out. Just minutes away from meeting her friends, she gets stuck in traffic.
There's a huge accident outside, and all their locations are here, but they're nowhere to be seen. So I called all of them, and none of them answered.
The death shaking the entire Pepperdine community.
The following day after the accident, none of us went to work or did anything. We just stayed with each other, and then Pepperdine, opened its arms to our community, and there was a wake. That night we were one. We were all one, just praying and worshiping and just being together.
In court today, the judge denying the defense's motion to dismiss the murder charges against him. If convicted of murder, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Bridget wants her friends to be remembered.
I take them with me wherever I go every single day. I think I'm a different person than I was before I met them. They changed me for the better.
We will continue to follow this story as the case unfolds. And now, a look ahead at tomorrow's show. Dancing with the Stars, popular influencer Dylan Efron and Robert Irwin opening up about what it takes to keep up with the dance floor competition.
Yeah, Robert, I gotta ask you, which is easier? Wrangling some crocodiles, wrestling some crocodiles, or learning the foxtrot?
And when we come back, the rollicking, raucous, and still very relevant world of the Golden Girls. After the break. Welcome back. The Golden Girls was television as refreshing and funny as it was revolutionary. Its no-holds-barred episodes ran the gamut from tender to taboo, breaking barriers every step of the way. A new special takes a fresh look at the laughter and the friendship between Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia. Here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
What is it like at this point in your careers, all of a sudden be sitting on this hit, or sitting in the middle of a real smash?
Not bad.
One that's...
Not bad. It's not
High
bad.
time. Unbelievable.
The Golden Girls, a beloved 7-season cultural touchstone with an ensemble cast that still resonates with audiences.
This was a dream team. The 4 of those veterans who knew everything about comedy was the secret sauce for us.
The sitcom, as groundbreaking as it was comforting. Women in their golden years, navigating chaos and camaraderie together through the late 80s and early 90s.
You see these masters of timing and comedy, and it was absolutely perfect.
The Golden Girls is now streaming on Hulu, and an all-new special on ABC tells the inside story of the sitcom with that iconic theme song.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
We're the Golden Girls.
Those friends, each earning their own Emmy Award during their golden run on TV, a rare feat still today.
B. Arthur was just the absolute master of the look. And she does it all the time on the show, particularly in response to Rose.
How do you like my new dress?
Nobody was as funny as Rue McClanahan.
The physicality of the character, like every single time she walked, I'm jumpier than a virgin at a prison rodeo. And she's walking through like this. Oh, I love it.
Damn, I'm good.
You know, Betty is one of the sharpest ladies you'll ever meet.
I'm not one to blow my own Vertubenflugen.
You need a very intelligent person to play dumb. I think Betty White does it so beautifully.
I was speaking metaphorically.
Oh, please go on. That's such a beautiful language. I'll see you later. I'm going to work.
You look at Estelle Getty as Sophia, right off the bat, there's a 20-year difference between what she was playing and who she really was.
Estelle was great, and the audience loved her.
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
She would just pause at the right spot. She would do something with her eyes, the reaction. She'd wait for the laughs. All those extraordinary comic timing things that either you have a gift from God or you don't. She had a gift from God.
And as the girls mine for comedic gold, Hollywood's A-list joining them too.
Golden Girls attracted a ton of big-name celebrities and stars at the time. Burt Reynolds, Debbie Reynolds, Dick Van Dyke, Bob Hope. There were also famously some actors on the Golden Girls who were not household names then, but who are big household names now.
This is my associate, Bobby Hopkins.
God, they were funny. They were all funny.
We want to get an arrest warrant, we got to plant a bug.
I'll do it. I'll be the plant. You are a plant.
I had this wonderful scene with Rue McClanahan, who I just adored.
Bobby, does your mama know you carry that gun?
Blanche, I'm a grown man.
Betty White was as welcoming and as sweet and as funny as anybody I've ever met. B, she made me laugh harder than anybody. It was just a really fun time.
The best friends, breaking new ground on TV and not shying away from anything.
It was never our intention to say something to America other than there is life beyond a certain age and you can create a new family. And we started to realize that we could talk about things that a lot of people couldn't talk about.
One of the greatest facts of the Golden Girls is that they talked honestly and openly about sex.
Being near Charlie was nice, but it was 5 years before I knew what made your eyes go back in your head.
It's actually insane that any show at this time would be talking about orgasms.
That cheesecake scene where the women are talking about losing their virginity.
Well, I certainly didn't wait for my wedding night, honey. I couldn't. I had these urges.
The culture rocked a little bit from that.
Even Sophia, in her 80s, is still interested in sex.
Mom, what is going on here?
Afterglow.
The sex aspect of it all was not scandalous because of their age. To me, it was scandalous because they were talking so openly about it. That's why it was as pioneering as it was, because you did not see that.
They were using comedy to deliver much larger messages.
They gather around the cheesecake and they talk about menopause.
I live in Florida. Who can tell the difference between a hot flash and a weather front?
And each of them has a very distinctive point of view to add.
Distinctive points of view delivered with doses of laughter.
It was a responsibility that I felt to talk about issues, something substantial, something that people could relate to.
Bad news. They're sending me back.
I guest starred playing Dorothy's prized pupil. She was my tutor and took me under her wing. The episode dealt with a pretty serious topic that's ironically pretty relevant today, and that's immigration.
This is your home. This is where you belong. You're what this country is all about.
And now I look at it as an adult, I'm like, wow, that's a pretty poignant episode for a sitcom.
Ending in 1992, the show still finding new audiences on streaming and minted as one of TV's most watched.
It's hard to find an area of American life that isn't at least somewhat touched by the Golden Girls.
Our thanks to Rhiannon. The all-new special, The Golden Girls, 40 Years of Laughter and Friendship, premieres Tuesday night on ABC and streams the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. When we come back, Idina Menzel defies gravity and more at Bob Woodruff's Stand Up for Heroes benefit in New York City. And finally tonight, the stars coming out in full force for America's heroes in tonight's Nightlight. Idina Menzel at ABC's own Bob Woodruff's Stand Up for Heroes, wowing the crowd with wickets defying gravity. Joined by comedy giants Jim Gaffigan,
What's happening, everybody?
and Jon Stewart. The annual fundraiser raising millions to help veterans.
I also want to honor every person in this room who has served our country. We're so grateful for all that you have given. Thank you so much.
Many on hand to share their stories.
Money from the foundation meant that our family could get to be in one place and maintain some sort of normalcy.
And that's Nightline for this evening. Catch our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.